Hello guys, so welcome to KO Tutorials. So let's continue the next part of this tutorial. So let's get started. So as you can see over here, we have started with the modifiers over here. So now what we'll be doing over here is like, we'll be continuing with the other modifier. So let's continue with the cloth modifier. How cloth modifier works is like, so let's get started. So for the cloth modifier can be used as a part of many things. Like for example, if you want to create something, let's take a box over here. Let's give a turbo smooth over here. Let's push it up over here. Select this part. Let's go into the modifier and let's give a modifier called cloth over here. Let's take a cloth modifier. Into this cloth modifier, let's go into the object properties. Let's select this as a box. So box as a cloth, you can rename this. So if you want, you can rename it over here. Let's give it as a cloth, and let's give a cloth property as a silk or satin. Add objects. So we'll be adding some objects over here like a plane. So let's add a plane object and let's set it as a collision object. So what I'll be doing over here is I'll be setting the friction as 1 over here for the collision property, box as a cloth, plane as a collision object. So if you want to compress, stretch, all this stuff, that can be done, but in the cloth property. So if you want some damping over here, I can give some kind of a damping over here, that can be done. So air friction, if you want, you can give a bit of air friction, and let's click OK. After you're done, let's go into this and let's say as simulate. So once you give simulate over here, you will see that there would be a kind of a simulation over here for the cloth. Can you see this? So with the help of this property, you can also create a balloon, you can create a bin bag. So a lot of things can be created using this property of cloth. So with the help of this cloth, you can also create some bed sheets also. Say this is a cloth property. We can create such kind of cloth properties over here. So for that, we need to create this simulation over here after you have assigned it. So as you can see, this is like a kind of a cloth over here. So if I again go into this, there's just an example. Let's go into extended primitives. Let's create something over here. Let's just push this up like this. Push it up. Push it over here. Let's again go into this. Let's go to the top view and let's take a plane. Push the plane up. Scale it. And let's increase its segments over here. And let's give again a cloth modifier. Object properties. Plane. Cloth. Let's make it as satin. Go into this add objects. So if you want to generate some pressure, that can be given for that balloon, or if you are creating something like we should have a pressure over here, that can be created. So we'll be creating this chamfer box and plane, add it and set it as a collision over here. So let's click OK, and you can also use simulate. You can also use the simulate option. So once you generate the simulation, oops, I think we need to increase the segments over here. We can increase the segments over here. Okay, not a problem. So again, let's take a plane over here. Let's take a plane and increase its segments. Give a cloth modifier. Object properties. Let's give a cloth. Add objects. Collision object. Click OK and simulate. Oops. Okay. So can give such properties over here. We can give such properties over here. Although we also have one more property. If you want to use a cloth modifier, you can go with that. Also, we have one more property for a cloth. I'll explain you how. Let's go into this animation, mass effects, cloth, create MCloth. Select this both, animation, mass effects, rigid body, static rigid body. So once you assign a rigid body, so it's not going to move over here. Let's make it as original. Make it as original. Make it as original. And animation, mass effects, simulation, play simulation. So as you can see now, so either you can use that or you can use with a modifier also. So both are the same properties. So although both is going to give you the same property. Say this. So now we have one more modifier with that. We'll be using one more modifier that's called a shell modifier. So let's use a shell modifier. So shell is useful for thickness. So if you want to give some kind of thickness to it, I can use a shell modifier. Shell modifier can be used for a lot of things. So if you are generating some kind of thickness, so for that thickness we are definitely going to use this modifier that's called a shell modifier. So if you want to give turbo smooth, you can give turbo smooth, not a problem. So shell is just to give thickness to the particular model. So if you are looking to give some kind of a thickness, then shell modifier is a perfect modifier for you. So the next modifier over here we have, that is your lathe modifier. So how lathe modifier works is like, so for example, if you want to create something, a bottle or something, or any kind of a shape, with the line tool, select this. Let's go into this. Let's give fillet. Let's give a fillet. So as you have made a half shape over here, and once you go into this and give a lathe modifier, so lathe is going to revolve it. So in what axis I want to revolve it? I want to axis in the X, Y or Z. I want it in the Y axis, and alignment should be minimum, center or max. So it's like how the alignment should be. You want on this axis, you want on this side, on what side. So let's go again into the line, activate this option and push this inside, over here, go over here, push this up, select this, push this down. That's it. So whatever shape you want to give, that can be done. So let's go into this. Let's give a refine. Again select, go into the vertices and you can adjust it. So you can easily create a bottle. You can easily create any kind of a shape which is radial. So any kind of a radial shape which is more symmetrical from all the sides, which is round in the shortest form. For that, this is the best option. That's your lathe option. So lathe can be used in this way. Can be used for creating vase, can be used for creating a lot of stuff which is circular. That's a radial shape. So after that, once you're done, you can convert to editable poly and you can texture it, whatever you want. Any doubts, guys? So if you have any doubts, please write it in the comment section over here. So after that, if you want to give smoothness, you can give turbo smooth over here as it is. That's it. So please like and subscribe my YouTube channel. So we'll continue the rest of the part in the next tutorial. So thanks for watching this tutorial.